all you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here with another TNINews video. Now we've got a lot to cover today, so I'm going to just hop right into it. And the first thing I want to share with you is an update on the Toys R Us saga. So you may have heard an article was recently published by the New York Post stating that Toys R Us was going to be opening new stores here in the United States sometime this year by the 2019 holiday season. Now, according to the article, it's not going to be just a reopening of their old stores. They are going to be much smaller stores. They did not announce any specific locations or exactly how many stores they're going to be opening. It was said that they are basically looking at which of their older stores had been strong performers, and then going to reopen these new smaller stores in those areas. So if you think you had a Toys R Us that was a real strong performer, then good chance you might be seeing a new store open up sometime this year. Again, it'll be much smaller. My guess is it's going to be along the lines of maybe like a GameStop or something. It is going to be bigger than what we saw last year, where we had the little toy box pop-ups at Kroger's and stuff. But it will be actual stores. Remains to be seen. Even if they are successful and get these stores reopened, what's really going to bring customers in there? What are they going to be able to offer that's different from going into a more convenient Walmart or Target store? Are they going to be able to offer more competitive prices? Doesn't seem likely. In fact, oftentimes Toys R Us had higher prices. You have to wonder how many toy companies are really going to be willing to work with Toys R Us after they suffered losses the first go around. I mean, there is still Toys R Us Canada, and that actually seems to be doing pretty well. They seem to be keeping their stores pretty stocked there in Canada. But again, we'll just have to wait and see how this plays out. But like I said, I just wanted to update you guys. If you're a fan of Toys R Us, it does seem like we continue to see signs that we might see a resurgence of the brand here in the United States sometime later this year. Okay, now switching over to Star Wars. Now, something I don't normally generally report in these kinds of videos, but I felt was needed, is yesterday we got the sad news that actor Peter Mayhew, who played Chewbacca, was the man in the suit, the Chewbacca suit for the original Star Wars movies, as well as Revenge of the Sith, and even to some extent in The Force Awakens. He started to hand things off in Force Awakens to a new actor. His health started to fail during that movie, and he was only a consultant in Last Jedi to the new actor. But I don't know the exact cause of his death. He died at the age of 74. He died on Tuesday, and he was in his home at the side of his family. So it wasn't like something totally unexpected. He had been dealing with mobility issues. He recently had a surgery back in July for mobility issues, and I don't know if that had anything to do with his death. But he will sadly be missed by the fandom. Chewbacca is one of the more popular characters in Star Wars, and you've got to give a lot of credit to that to Peter Mayhew. Even though he didn't actually talk, I mean, Chewbacca just growled and stuff. That character was very popular because of him, because of his mannerisms, obviously because of his size. He's a very tall gentleman. I got to briefly meet him at one of the Star Wars Celebration conventions years ago, and it seemed like a very nice gentleman, and I've never seen anyone say anything unkind about him. I think he was truly a good guy, and loved the fandom and everything. So he will be sorely missed. My thoughts and prayers go out to him, or go out to his family, and again, hopefully he's up there with Carrie Fisher, and he's looking over the entire fandom and everything. But definitely sad news that he passed away this week. Okay, while we're on the subject of Star Wars, I got a package today from Hasbro, and I'm pretty sure I know what's in this, but I figure I would go in and open it up on air here. So earlier in the week, I got this certificate. It's actually just a piece of cardboard, but it's made to look like the original Kenner Early Bird package certificate. If you're not familiar with your Star Wars history, Kenner, the original company to make Star Wars toys back in the day, they didn't have, they got the license for Star Wars figures so late in the game that they weren't able to have the product ready to go for the busy holiday season. That's where they would sell the most toys. So somebody in the company came up with this idea of offering these certificates at Christmas time, and then the figures would be mailed out later. Now, I even though I grew up on Star Wars, I was actually too young, I guess, to really, my parents didn't buy a certificate or anything, and I don't really remember the whole certificate thing growing up, but but that's how the Star Wars toy line launched. So this was sent out by Hasbro and their PR firm, and basically letting people know in the media and such that this package was going to be coming, which I believe is going to be the new Kenner retro figures. So these were announced during Toy Fair back in February, and if you're not familiar, essentially Hasbro has gone back to the old Kenner molds and essentially redoing those figures. So same kind of articulation, same kind of accessories, you know, the Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi with the lightsaber in the hand and such. So this box is unique. The figures are being sold at Target and are actually hitting Target stores now, but this box is kind of a unique thing. But kind of cool. You got the figures on the front there, the old classic Star Wars Kenner logo. On the back here, it looks like an X-Wing fighter. Open this up. Don't think it's taped, but not opening very easily. Okay, so got the little introduction from Hasbro, and then we've got the figures. So you can see, again, same classic Kenner card backs. Very similar to the vintage collection. The difference here is the figures are actually also identical to the old Kenner figures, not just the card backs themselves. Now they've stuck these big retro stickers on the front, so I guess so people won't try and claim that these are original Kenner Star Wars figures. You could probably peel these off, but I don't know if you can do it without damaging it. But and there's probably I mean, it's not exactly the same. It's different on the back and stuff. So I think if you know your Star Wars at all, you're not going to be able to be fooled that these are original Kenner figures. But you know, definitely they look just like them. Here's Luke Skywalker. He does have the yellow hair as opposed to the brown hair, and you know, he has the little slide lightsaber. Princess Leia with her vinyl cape. Darth Vader has the vinyl cape and the lightsaber. The backs are all the same. And you got the Stormtrooper there. And then finally Chewbacca. Now there's a Grand Moff Tarkin figure that is also being released, and that's being included in a retro board game. It's a recreation of an old Star Wars board game that was released back in the day, but it includes this Tarkin figure in the same Kenner style. And Kenner never did a Tarkin figure, which was one of the figures I always wanted as a kid. I always used my Death Star Commander as my Tarkin because, you know, obviously Tarkin was an important character in the movie, but they didn't do a figure of him for some reason. So Hasbro finally went back and actually did a Tarkin figure. It's included with a board game, and I probably will have to go out and find that and get it. I don't know if I want to open these. I kind of want to just leave these on the card backs. So I don't know. The thing I remember most about these figures is how the heads would always break off. And I don't know how many times, like my Han Solo figure, I had to have my parents glue the head back on. Of course, then you couldn't turn the head anymore. But the heads broke off pretty easily, or maybe I was just a kid who played with them rough. Though I know I wasn't the only kid who broke off the heads on these original Kenner figures. But you know, we would have to glue them back on there. Because we weren't going to just go out and buy another figure because we broke it. Back then we just, you know, glued things and such. But that's what I always kind of remember the most. On the inside of the box, you again just have like the X-Wing and stuff. So cool thing. Thanks to Hasbro for sending that out. Again, these figures are being sold at Target right now, and they are available for purchase. I've been seeing that they're starting to hit shelves. This weekend is the big May the 4th event. May the 4th be with you is the whole idea behind it, but you're going to see, you know, these figures hitting shelves, and Lego is doing some deals where like they're selling a micro Hoth battle set if you buy like, I think it's $75 worth of Lego sets at participating retailers and stuff. So if you're a Star Wars fan, you may want to go out and do some Star Wars shopping this weekend, because again, it's the big May the 4th event, and it starts today and goes through the weekend basically. Okay, now switching gears to Transformers. So first thing, I just wanted to share new updated images for the Revoltech Optimus Prime figure. So they're doing a new updated version. This is part of the Yamaguchi line. So they've been doing Marvel figures and some DC figures. Now they're adding Transformers to that, and starting with Optimus Prime, of course. And it looks pretty good. I can't say I'm a huge fan of Transformer figures that don't actually transform. This figure does not transform into a truck. It is just an actual figure of Prime. It is a highly articulated figure of Prime, and you get accessories like an energy axe and things like that. But again, it doesn't actually transform into a truck. So to me, that's a little bit of a downer. But if you just wanted a cool looking, highly articulated Optimus Prime, then you might want to check this out. It is up for pre-order now at places like Big Bad Toy Store. It is slated with a September 2019 release, and it's going to cost you around $90. Next up on the Transformer front, I wanted to share these images that leaked out for one of Hasbro's upcoming San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. So this is another Ghostbuster Transformers mashup. I'm not sure why Hasbro is focusing so much on Transformer Ghostbuster mashups. They did the Ecto 1, which was announced, and I started to see release the actual Ecto 1 that transforms. But now we're getting this MP Optimus Prime with Ghostbuster logos and colors and everything. The packaging is made to look like a ghost trap. And, you know, again, it's just kind of a mashup of Optimus. It's an MP Optimus Prime, and it's made to have Ghostbuster type colors and everything. So again, not 100% confirmed. Hasbro has not officially confirmed this, but indications are this will be released as a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive this year, and will cost somewhere in the neighborhood of $150. And there will be a number of these released on the Hasbro Pulse website sometime after the convention. They may also offer this at other conventions outside the United States. I don't have any specific details on that, but that seems to be par for the course these days with Hasbro San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. And again, if you're a Ghostbuster / Transformer fan, you'll probably want to check this one out. Okay, now while we're on the subject of San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, I've got a couple other new reveals. These come from Diamond Distributors. So these are being made available online for those not attending the convention, but technically they are listed as Comic-Con exclusives. So the first one is from DC Collectibles, and again, this is being offered through Diamond Distributors, but it was actually made by DC Collectibles. It's a 6-inch figure. It's a pretty cool one. It's Michelangelo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles dressed up as Batman. So this is based on the IDW DC comic crossover limited series that they did. And there's also an animated movie coming with the same premise, but this figure is actually based on the comics. And again, it's Michelangelo dressed up as Batman. So he's got a Batman-like cowl, and he's got multiple hands and a pizza. And it's a 6-inch figure, and it's going to cost about $30. And like I said, some places I've seen had it up for pre-order have sold out, but you can probably, if you look around, I think Entertainment Earth maybe has it up, still available. And again, that figure is going to cost about $30. And then the other one I wanted to tell you about comes from Diamond Select Toys themselves, again being offered through Diamond Distributors, and it is a box set of their 7-inch scale Ghostbuster Select figures. Only these versions are slime versions. So I think they've offered some of these individually, but now they're offering the entire all 4 members with the slime look. So the box set's going to cost about $80. Comes with things like proton packs and such. And so if you're a Ghostbuster fan and you've been collecting the Diamond Select figures, you might want to check this one out. And again, it's going to cost about $80. For you Dragon Ball Z fans, it looks like the next SH Figuarts figure for that line is going to be King Piccolo from the original Dragon Ball cartoon. Now, this has not been officially confirmed by Tamasi Nations, nor do we have any images, but there is a listing that has popped up on the Shonen Jump website. They list the figure with an October release, going to cost about 7,200 yen. And again, not officially confirmed by Tamasi Nations at this point, but good chance that this is going to be the next figure. And when that is officially revealed, we'll be sure to update on Toy News International, and I will probably also update in a future news video. Okay, and then finally, we're going to switch over to Marvel here, and I've got some Avengers Endgame stuff I want to share with you today, but before I get to that, that does contain some spoilers. I imagine all of you have seen the movie by now, but just in case, you may want to skip that one if you haven't seen the movie until you do. But before I get to that, let me just share with you these new Glam shots for the Marvel Legends Marvel Comic 80th Anniversary subline that was announced during Toy Fair back in February. So we're getting 3 single pack figures, and these are all based on Alex Ross artwork. And so Iron Man with the metallic gold has 2 different helmeted heads as well as an unhelmeted Tony Stark head, and then has some blast effects. I really like the metallic gold look on this figure. I think they did a good job with that. The red looks a little plasticky here in these images, but as it is, I definitely think this is one of the cooler comic book based Iron Man figures that they've done. And then we're also getting Thor. Looks very reminiscent of the old Toy Biz Thor that they did. Has the hammer with the inscription on it. Obviously updated mold and everything, but this reminds me very much of that original Thor that they did, that Toy Biz did. And probably, again here, this is probably the best Thor comic book based figure that they've done. And then finally, for the single pack, we're getting Captain America. He has the sculpted chainmail. He's got two different head sculpts. So honestly, both head sculpts look very similar. So I'm not entirely sure what the difference is. Maybe a little bit different facial expression, but again, very similar. So that's kind of odd. You also get multiple hands, and you get that shield throwing effect like we've seen with previous Captain America figures. And of course, this shield as well. And then for 2 packs for this line, there's actually 2 coming, but we only got updated images for 1. The first one is the Colossus Juggernaut 2-pack, which we did not get updated images for, and that's actually probably the 2-pack I'm most excited for. But then the second 2-pack featuring the first appearance Wolverine and Hulk. This is definitely a nice Hulk figure. Again, maybe one of the nicest comic book based Hulk figures that Hasbro's done. Has the ripped off shirt and the purple pants, of course. And if you're not familiar with your Marvel history, Wolverine actually first appeared in the pages of Incredible Hulk, not an X-Men book, and that's what this Wolverine figure is based on. The outfit, which is similar to the Tiger Stripe outfit, but is different. The mask is a little different, has the shorter tips and everything, and again, it's based on that first appearance from Incredible Hulk. Also, while we're on the subject of Wolverine, it looks like we might be getting some kind of variant Cowboy civilian Logan figure that is going to be a GameStop exclusive. Also may be available as a fan channel exclusive on other online e-tailers like Big Bad Toy Store. I don't know where this image originated from. I can't even 100% confirm that it's legit, though it seems like it is. And again, looks like we're getting another Wolverine figure for the Marvel Comics 80th anniversary line. And then we also got updated images for one of the MCU 2-packs that were announced at Toy Fair. So not technically part of the 10th anniversary line, since it's no longer 10 years since the first Marvel movie came out, but it's essentially a continuation of that. And we saw a couple different 2-packs announced. We saw the Infinity War updated Iron Man Mark 50 with the updated weapons, and the Iron Man or the Iron Spider-Man figure with the arms on the back. We also saw that they were doing a Hela figure, an updated Hela figure, and a Scourge from Thor Ragnarok. And then this set, which is also based on Thor Ragnarok, which features the Grand Master and Korg. Korg is probably my favorite out of these two, and of course Korg is in an Endgame movie. Spoiler, I guess, but he doesn't play a huge role, but he is actually in the movie, so kind of cool. And again, Grandmaster based on the Jeff Goldblum character. And those 2 come with individual weapons. Now, I don't have any kind of specific release dates. I believe these will be out in a July-August time frame, and they may not all hit at the same time. The Captain America figure at Toy Fair was said to be a Walmart exclusive here in the United States, so who knows when that one will be released. And then the 2-pack, the 2-pack of Wolverine and Hulk, as well as the Juggernaut and Colossus 2-pack were said to be fan channel exclusives, which basically is the way of saying they're online exclusives. So like I said, I don't know exactly when these will be released, but we'll probably see them in the July-August time frame. And then finally, Hasbro also released some updated images for additional Avengers Endgame product that they're going to be doing. Now, unfortunately, none of this includes any Marvel Legend figures. We have not gotten any updates on the next wave of Avengers Marvel Legends. Hopefully that will be coming soon. Technically, according to the Russo brothers, the embargo on Avengers Endgame spoilers is Monday, but it seems like companies are jumping the gun a little bit. But like I said, these are all more stuff for the kids, the 6-inch basic figures, the Titan figures, and some roleplay items. So we're getting an Ant-Man figure in the quantum suit, and it has a little miniature Ant-Man, which is kind of cool. I like that shrinking effect that they included. It would be kind of cool to see with Marvel Legends. We're also getting a Black Panther figure, which has a spear. We're getting a modern Captain America figure with the shield. We are getting a Chitauri soldier. Yeah, those guys really weren't predominantly shown in Endgame. You actually saw them more in Infinity War than in Endgame. I mean, they were, I'm sure, in the background during the large battle at the end, but they weren't like, you didn't see them a lot in the movie. So, but we are getting a Chitauri soldier. And then we're getting another Iron Spider-Man figure. This looks pretty much like the same one they did for Infinity War, so I'm not sure there's really anything different there other than the packaging. We're getting a Hulk figure in the purple jumpsuit, and the thing I like about this figure is it has a removable Infinity Gauntlet, so hopefully I hope that we're going to be getting a Marvel Legend version of this Hulk. Probably I'm hoping as a Build-A-Figure. It seems like the most likely choice maybe for the next wave of Avenger figures, and I do hope it includes something similar to this Infinity Gauntlet like we're seeing here. And then we're also getting an actual role-play item for the Infinity Gauntlet, the Iron Man Infinity Gauntlet. We'd seen that leak out before. I briefly talked about it before. And then there's a 2-pack with the Iron Man Mark 85 and the Rescue Pepper Potts and the Rescue Armor. So we're getting a basic figure of that. And again, hopefully we will be getting Marvel Legend versions of these guys as well. And then for the Titan line, we're getting another Spider-Man figure, which again, probably very similar to the one that we previously got. And we're getting a Valkyrie in her white Valkyrie outfit. So we'd seen that leak out before, but we're getting that. And also Rocket Raccoon. We're getting a Titan hero version of Rocket Raccoon and Star-Lord, which again seems very similar to previous ones that we've gotten. So, like I said, with these 6-inch basic figures, I hope we're definitely going to be getting Marvel Legend versions. And, hopefully the next wave of Avenger Marvel Legend Endgame figures will be revealed soon by Hasbro. Okay, so that's it for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything I talked about today. Also, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and hit the like button if you're so inclined. You should also hit the bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. And of course, you can also follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I have links to those in the video description as well. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.